kids podcast.
You can go slow.
A kids podcast about.
Hi, this is Matthew, and I'm head of podcasts at a kids company about. We are so glad you're listening to this show, and I wanted to let you know that we've got an entire network of podcasts dedicated to producing original content that talks up to kids, centers the things going on in their world, and engages and challenges how they see the world and themselves. With shows about facts, climate justice, current events, and activism, there's a show out there made just for your kid. Check out the A Kids Podcast About channel on Apple Podcasts or wherever podcasts are found, or visit akidsco.com.
Welcome to Camp Adventure. Camp is in your living room. Camp is in your car on the way to the store. Camp is under your blanket fort. Camp is everywhere, and Camp Adventure is for everyone, no matter where in the world you are. And camp counselors Ben and Hannah are ready to welcome you. It's week 12 at camp, and this week we're exploring what it looks like to care for the world around us. I'm camp counselor Ari, and I have loved being here at camp with you each and every week. It's a beautiful day at Camp Adventure, so let's say hello to the greatest counselor, friend, and adventuring guide possible, Camp Counselor Ben, to kick things off.
Ari, thank you once again for everything that you continue doing at Camp Adventure. We would be lost without you. Campers, on this last week of camp, week number 12, please give it up. Let's hear some claps for our wonderful Ari. Ari, you are the best. And Camp Adventure, all of my friends, all of you campers, you are also the best. I remember on week 1, we set out to have a podcasting adventure with you, wherever you are, in this big and beautiful world. And we have had some excitement and some challenge, new challenges every week, actually. And I've learned many things. And when we get to story time today, I've got a story about finding something hidden in the woods and about an explosive boom we made on the river and about getting into some serious trouble. Yeah, that's the story today. But it's also about learning something very good. But we have to do camp songs, and we have to do the mailbag before that, as you campers well know. During all of this camp time together over these weeks, I hope that you have been learning new things and thinking about new things as well. What fun it has been to share all of these stories and challenges and activities with you. It has been a blast. And of course, I have loved how our counselor and music leader and friend, Hannah, has been sharing her songs with you and with me, with all of us. So let's have one more huge round of clapping and cheering for our Camp Adventure music leader, Hannah Glaver. Now, you might remember that this Hannah, she eats gummy bears for breakfast, and she prefers bike riding over car driving. And she does not talk in her sleep, but she sings in her sleep. And she always prefers to go barefoot. And she can swim over rivers with guitars in her hand. And she explores with her ears. And who knows what else this magical, wonderful camp music leader can do. She's beyond amazing, isn't she? So, please welcome with me on this last week of summer camp. Please welcome the great and knowledgeable, the one, the only, my good friend, Hannah Glaver.
Oh, friends, I'm going to miss all of you and all of this Camp Adventure. We've learned so much together, haven't we? Don't worry. If you don't remember, I've created a list. We've been learning things like adventures, trying new things, even when we don't know what is next. 'Cause with good courage, we can do great things, and we are open to discover. And when we fight to find the good, when we're creating as creatives, when we're good and kind to new friends, 'cause life is better with each other. Yes, when we love the earth and others, the world is better as we do. campers, I want you to remember that it's so important that we take care of each other and the world around us. We get to share this great planet we live on with all kinds of creatures, great green plants, water to raft on, and excellent humans to spend time with like you and me. The world is a better place because you are in it, and it's a better place because of everyone around us. Our differences make us stronger, and together we can all make the world a better place. Oh, when the world is full of worry and you don't know what comes next, grab a hand and we'll get through it. You're not alone, so don't be stressed. Each day is full of wonder, so much good for us to share. When we love the earth and others, the world is better when we care. Adventure. We venture together with courage. We learn and grow strong. We learn from each other. So let's discover and uncover great adventures brought in you. That sounds so good. Let's sing it one more time together. And I want to hear you sing it nice and loud all the way from Portland, Oregon. You ready? Let's go. Adventure. Adventure. We venture. We venture. Together with courage. We learn and grow strong. We learn from each other. Each other. So let's discover and uncover great adventures brought in you. Wow, everyone sounded so good. My friends, I'm going to miss you all so much. As you are, wherever you are, you campers make all of this worth doing. Remember that you are creative, you are unique, and you have what it takes to see wonder all around you and find adventure in everything. It's been such an honor to spend this time with you, singing with you, hearing from you. I love this, and I love you. May your life be full of endless adventure, friends. I hope to see you soon, but before then, it's that time where we get to hear from you one last time. It's time for, drumroll please, mailbag.
Hi everyone, I'm Camp Counselor Matthew, and I am here with the mailbag. It's where we keep all the mail we receive from our campers. It's our last week at camp for the summer, and I wanted to let you know that while we will be saying goodbye to our campers and looking forward to next year's camp adventure, you are welcome to send in your mail or write to us anytime. We've been going on this adventure together all summer, and the connections you've made don't stop when camp does. You can revisit past episodes and adventures anytime you'd like. You can send in photos and stories and songs and jokes whenever you want. We will always be eager to receive and eager to share. In fact, I'd love to know what you thought of camp. What was your favorite part? Was there a camp counselor with whom you really connected? Was there a particular episode you kept coming back to? You can rate and review Camp Adventure on Apple Podcasts and send us photos and videos and mail to listen@akidspodcastabout.com or on social media using hashtag AKBASummer. We just might pop into your podcast feed throughout the coming months to share what other campers have been up to. That's listen@akidspodcastabout.com or on social media using hashtag AKBASummer. Thanks for being a part of our first year of Camp Adventure. Love you for that. And now, let me pass you off to some other counselors who have loved spending time with you too.
Hey campers, it's Camp Counselor Ari here with some more adventure building. So far, we've talked about building our adventurers, the creatures they could meet, the places they can go, and the quests they can go on. The possibilities for what our super adventure building storytelling machines can think up are absolutely endless. All of this adventure building can take a lot of time and planning and dreaming. But I've found some of the very best parts of adventuring are when you're storytelling with friends in the moment. Remember, adventure, we venture together. See, there's a special magic that happens when you create a story with other people as you go. It's called improvisation. And sometimes it might feel a little scary if you've put a lot of time and imagination into preparing for your adventure. to start out on your adventure with someone else? What if it's not like what you expected? What if they have different ideas than you? But you know what? I think that's part of the magic. When we listen to each other's ideas, we start to imagine together, and wild and hilarious things can happen. Let's try it out. What if I want to go on an adventure in a ship, and you, my friends, want to go adventuring to find a princess in a land of nightmares? The really fun part is when we put our ideas together and create something super special. Maybe our ship flies through the air and is powered by dreams, and we set out on a quest to find the princess. Wouldn't that be so cool? I think you'll all make incredible adventure builders, and I can't wait to hear all the stories you tell together.
Hey campers, it's Camp Counselor Denise, and I hope you're ready for some Spanish and learning and loving, because that's what we're doing today. You know, one of the best and the scariest things about camp is meeting new people and making new friends. And we all know that the best way to do this is by walking up to someone, saying hi, and introducing yourself. So I thought for today, it would be good to do that in Spanish. So get ready. Now, for the very first step, saying hi. There are lots of ways that you can say hello in English. Hey, hi, hello, top of the morning to ya. Spanish is no different, but one of the easiest, most well-known, and best ways to say hello is hola. Easy, right? Short, simple, and straight to the point. Hola. Okay then, now that we know that, let's do something fun. No matter where you are or what you're doing, I want you to give your biggest and friendliest wave and say hola to all of your fellow campers. Ready? Go! Well done! Now, for the next part, introducing yourself. When telling someone your name, you can say, mi nombre es, like this. Mi nombre es Denise. Or, if you're feeling adventurous, you can also say, me llamo, like this. Me llamo Denise. Got it? Awesome. Now, let's put it all together and introduce ourselves to all of our fellow campers. Ready? I'll start. Hola, mi nombre es Denise. ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo te llamas? What's your name? Excellent. Un placer conocerlos a todos. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, everyone. I hope that you all keep practicing your Spanish and that you have a great rest of your camp. Hasta luego.
All right, campers, after this break, we're going to hear a story from Camp Counselor Ben, and I promise you won't want to miss it.
There are a lot of facts we learn every day.
Did you know that pigeons are the only bird to feed their chicks milk?
Did you know that potatoes can grow on Mars?
And did you know a monarch butterfly is poisonous? And did you know a snail has more than 1,000 teeth? And did you know a dragonfly actually eats, like, you know, the flies? If you hate them, they're just flying around and you hate them, they'll just actually eat them. They eat little bugs.
Dragonflies eat little bugs?
Yeah.
Nice.
But those facts lead us to a much bigger question. How do we know what we think is true is actually true? Hi, friends. I'm Ariane Nettles. I'm a journalist, a college professor, and host of Is That True? It's a kids podcast about facts. Each week, we go on a fact-checking investigation with experts and enthusiasts, because when you have evidence to support your knowledge, what you know becomes even stronger. Even cooler, you are a key part of this show. We need you to make it happen. We need your facts. Maybe it's something you know about science or sports, animals or world records, history or space. There's no limit to what we can learn about. New episodes of Is That True release every Wednesday wherever podcasts are found. This is Ariane, and I can't wait to investigate with you.
Here at A Kids Company About, we make podcasts, but also books, classes, and even more for kids and families just like yours. We've got a couple new and upcoming books in our Little Book About Board book series, embracing toddlerhood's most essential topics. Here's one of our authors sharing a sneak peek.
Hey, my name's Alicia, and I'm the author and illustrator of A Little Book About Grit, a new book in the series about what it means to never give up and how that superpower supercharges your growth. Learn more about A Little Book About Grit by visiting akidsco.com.
Okay, we're back and it's story time. Are you excited? Me too. So let's get ready for this week's story. Before we get cozy, let's do a big stretch. If you can, try putting your feet together on the ground while you're sitting. Then, if you move your knees up and down like this, you can imagine you're a butterfly getting ready to lift off and fly away. Now, in just a sec, let's hit pause and get in this week's perfect listening spot. 3, 2, 1, go. Where do you pick? This week, I'm listening outside under the big blue sky. Wherever you go, get comfy. Are you ready, Counselor Ben?
Oh, Ari, thank you. And yes, I am definitely ready for this story time. And this week's story begins back in the same place that so many of our stories have taken place. You know the spot, back at that little gray house in Burlington, Wisconsin, the one on West Chestnut Street, just across from the Fox River. One day, my sister Christy and I were exploring in the woods next to our house. We were kind of treasure hunting. The woods that was filled with all of the black raspberries. I told you about that a couple stories ago. And on this exploration, we definitely found and ate a lot of raspberries. I really like raspberries. You like raspberries? I bet you probably like raspberries. They're so good. Well, as we're exploring, we found lots of raspberries. And then we found really interesting mushrooms, kind of yellowish, orangish, almost looked like seashells growing on the sides of old rotten logs in the woods. And then we found an old rusty metal bucket that was kind of half buried in the dirt. It was a good bucket. We cleaned it out later on and used it for catching frogs and water snakes down at the river. But then we found something big in the woods, something heavy, and it was perfectly round. Can you guess what it was? It was black. It was shaped like a donut. It was made of old black rubber that was kind of drying up and cracked and crinkly. Any guesses now? Here's one more clue. This is the thing on your car that makes contact with the ground. That reminds me of one of my favorite songs. One that a great musician named Trey Anastasio and his friends Mike and Paige and John, they play it. It's called Contact, and it goes like this. The tires are the things on your car that make contact with the ground. That's right. Now maybe you guessed it. We had found a big old black rubber car tire. And it still had the metal part, or the wheel, inside of it too, so it was very heavy. Now, you campers might be saying at this point, who cares? It's just an old junky tire that somebody littered in the woods. And I have to tell you, you would be totally right. It was just an old junky tire. However, creative children can turn old junk into cool artwork sometimes, or into cool games sometimes. And that's exactly what we did. We got a big stick and we pried that old wheel out of the ground and we brushed off all the dirt, and voila! We had ourselves a big old heavy junk tire. So we started rolling it around. I have an idea, my sister Christy said. Now, she was only 6 years old at the time, and I was 8 years old. She said, let's make a bowling game. And so we set up our metal bucket and then 2 other buckets that we had from Dad's shed at the bottom of a hill inside the woods. And then we rolled the tire up to the top of the hill and we let her rip down the hill, and kablamo! It blasted into the buckets and everything went flying, and it was like playing bowling in the woods with the big tire instead of a bowling ball. That was fun. So we played that game with the tire, and then we'd roll it around and crash it into stuff. We thought that was pretty fun. Then we tried to hang it from a rope because we saw pictures of rope swings with tires on them, but it was just way too heavy for that. And then I thought that I had a great idea. It was really not a great idea. It turns out to be a really terrible idea, I just got to tell you. But at the time, I didn't know any better, and it seemed like it would be really fun. Okay, you might remember how I told you a story in Camp Adventure week number 3. It was the one about building a raft and floating it out to an island on the Fox River. If you haven't heard that story, definitely got to check out week number 3. It's a thrilling adventure on the water when I built a raft. Well, just past that exact same island, there was, and there really still is, a tall bridge that goes over the river. It's a street called Beaneman Road, and the bridge is high above the water. And here was what my genius idea was. I decided it would be a good idea to roll the tire down to that bridge. So we did that. We rolled it down to the bridge first, and that was not easy. Believe me, that tire was so heavy. But Christy and I finally got it all the way down to that bridge, and then we rolled it right up to the edge of the bridge. Now just wait for a second here. Let me ask you, please raise your hands if you have ever liked or enjoyed throwing stones into a river or a lake. Yeah, maybe skipping stones, that's really fun too. But when you get a big old rock and chuck it into the lake and it's sploosh, it gives the big splash. Oh man, it's so much fun. Well, tell me this. If a good-sized rock can make a big splash in the water, can you imagine how big of a splash you could make if you threw a full tire into the water? Just launched it right off of a tall bridge? Well, that is exactly what I was thinking. Let's chuck this thing in the river and see what kind of big splash it makes. Well, Christy and I stumbled a little bit. We were bent over, heaving and hoeing, trying to get the tire up over the guardrail of the bridge. We worked as a team, and finally we had it up off the street, and it was balancing on the guardrail. And I looked at Christy right in the eyes, and she looked at me, and we were both smiling, and then we shoved it right off the guardrail. We sent it over the edge, and the tires seemed to fall in slow motion, turning over and over like a coin flipping through the air until it landed and boom! It did not only splash into the water, the tire landed perfectly flat on the flat surface of the water, like if you were doing a belly flop. Or sometimes you know how you can cup your hand and slap it on the water and it makes a popping sound? Well, that's the sound that it made, but it was a tire. So it was like a stick of dynamite exploding, and it was in a bridge, which was like a speaker. And so it was sounded like a fireworks boom going off. It was so loud that it scared Christy and I. It was a massive blast. But what happened next was 10 times more scary. The neighbor, whose house was closest to Beaneman Road's bridge, happened to be out on his porch right when we pushed this tire off the bridge, and he saw the whole thing. And he came running straight at Christy and me, and his face was red, and he was yelling, and he was really mad. "What are you kids thinking?" he hollered out. "Why would you do that?" "Well, we wanted to see if it would make a big splash. We're sorry," I said to him. "Big splash," he said. "But what about trashing the river with garbage? You threw a tire in the river. Now I need to go get it out of there, but I tell you what, I'm going to be talking to your parents about this," he said. And we watched him run down to the shore. Thankfully, he had a good canoe, and he put it in the water, and he paddled out to the tire that was floating slowly down the river like garbage, and he drug it back to the bank of the river, and he pulled it out onto dry land. Thank goodness. That was a very, very good neighbor. Now, he was upset with me for sure, and I was scared about that, but he was totally right. Christy and I had made a terrible mistake. We had only thought about how fun it would be to make a big splash in the river, but we did not think about how it would damage the river, throwing garbage into our beautiful Fox River. And we realized it right then, and we felt awful inside. Well, that night, later on, after the neighbor told our parents and rolled the tire back over to our house, we all had a very good talk about the beauty of creation, of nature, of the world around us, and how we human beings are not supposed to destroy the land or garbage it up. We're here to live in the land and with the land, being kind to the earth, not destroying it or throwing trash into it. Now you tell me, when you see a beautiful lake with sparkling clean water, or when you see a river filled with empty bottles and trash, or even old tires floating around and garbage in heaps, which one makes your heart sing? You know, think of how Hannah sings. Beautiful songs. When you see a beautiful, clean nature, or you see a trashed up, garbagey one, which one makes your heart feel wonderful? Which one makes you feel gross? Yeah, we love, as human beings, we love the clean world, the beautiful, natural way that it was supposed to be, not trashy, dirty messes that we sometimes all make. So guess what? Christy and I never, ever again threw any tires in any rivers. I promise you that, and we never will. And we never threw any other garbage in the river or on the land either. We learned a really big lesson that day. I can still right now hear the tire boom on the river, and it reminds me always to treat our world with love and care and respect. And that feels to me like a really good way to close out our Camp Adventure 2021 summertime. Remember that our explorations, we're going on adventures, we're exploring, and our adventures in the worlds that are around us, wherever you are, you and I and all of our neighbors, we depend on the earth and we want to care for it. Bugs for our bug jars, rivers for our rafts and our boats, hills to climb, trees for swinging and making tree houses and zip lines, peach trees in Tennessee, and black raspberries from Wisconsin. Wherever we go, we campers love being good to the land that we are living in. Does that sound good, my friends? I really think it does. So let's go forth from here, from this camp adventure time together, and let's each become people who love and care for the natural world around us. Okay? And that reminds me of a pretty cool challenge for our final Camp Adventure Weekly Challenge. So hang on. I'm going to be right back with your last weekly challenge. Okay, my explorers, my adventurers, my camp adventure friends, this final challenge is going to be good for you and for your friends and neighbors and whomever else that you invite to complete the challenge with. And I think it's going to be good for our land. So you're going to have one main challenge to complete, and you got to do it creatively this week. And you'll have one major bonus opportunity as well. We're going to introduce a bonus on this final week. Okay, so first the challenge, then the bonus. First, we want you to get creative with some kind of garbage. I know that sounds kind of weird, but think about an old box or bottle or can or anything like that that would normally just get thrown away. Grab it and try to make something beautiful with it. There's amazing things that you can do if you get creative. You take boxes and turn them into forts or spaceships or sleds. My kids, Annabelle and Wesley, they make so many cool things out of boxes. Find a box, and before you just chuck it in the trash, turn it into something cool. Or bottles and cans. You can find old bottle or the bottles that you're maybe going to just throw away. Take all the labels off of them and paint them beautifully. You can make a vase. You can make a gift that way. Build your own cool creation. There's also paper mache, where you chop up old papers and soak them, and then you can turn them into cool stuff. Your grown-ups might have to help you with paper mache, but check it out. You can make all kinds of stuff with old newspapers and papers around your house. Or maybe an old jar that you have, like a peanut butter jar. There's all kinds of ways to make them into bird feeders or bug jars. Remember when we made those a couple weeks ago? Ask your grown-ups or other friends for ideas too. I one time went on an adventure to Nepal, and there were some women and men who were making artwork like Christmas ornaments and that kind of thing out of old Cheetos and potato chip bags. No joke. You know how they're kind of silver on the inside? They would open them up into a flat sheet and roll them into really tight little straw-like tubes and then weave them together into stars and different shapes, and they were shiny and cool. We have one still and hang it on our Christmas tree every single year. So you can do all kinds of stuff with things that you would normally just throw in the trash, okay? Ask your grown-ups and friends for other ideas too, but the number one goal for the challenge this last week of camp is to reuse something that would otherwise end up in the garbage. Rather than just throwing it out, recreate it into something beautiful or useful, or both. That's your big challenge. And I'd love to see pictures of whatever you make. So much, I really do. So don't forget to send in your pictures. And then here's the bonus. And the bonus is unlimited, which means that you can score unlimited bonus points for this last part, okay? The summer is coming to an end, and we're preparing to go back to school. And I know that you're going to be out and about on the sidewalks and in the parks, wherever you are. We at Camp Adventure will happily give you a major bonus point for every piece of litter or garbage or trash that you pick up in your world. You see an old box or a bottle or a bag or some piece of garbage on the street or the sidewalk, rather than just leaving it there, and rather than chucking it into the river, don't do that. Just pick it up and recycle it. I promise you that I will be doing the exact same thing. And the Camp Adventure counselors are committed to it as well. We want to be people who are taking care of the world around us, okay? And just imagine this. This is fun to think about for the long future. Imagine that Camp Adventure campers all over the world, you and me and all of us, we're the first ones of Camp Adventure in this year. Imagine that we all become people who make our world cleaner. Imagine thousands of kids all over the place learning to become respectful and good to the world around us. If we join together in this way of living and in this way of adventuring, then this podcasted summer camp and everyone who's been a part of it, you and me, we will actually help to restore and renew our land. And that, my good friends, sounds like a very, very good adventure to me. Have a wonderful school year, try new things, and know that we will see you again soon as we all continue filling our lives with good adventure.
Thanks, Ben, and thank you, campers, for joining us at Camp Adventure this season. It's been a wonderful time adventuring with all of you. We love to feature you and everything you and your fellow campers have gotten up to at Camp Adventure. So share all of your weekly Camp Challenge creations on social media using hashtag AKBASummer, or write to us at listen@akidspodcastabout.com. Camp Adventure was written by Ben Tertine with help from the A Kids Podcast About team. Original music is by Hannah Glaver. Check out Hannah's albums at hannahglaver.bandcamp.com. This show is edited and produced by me, Ari Mathey, with help from Matthew Winner. Audio production is by Chad Michael Snavely and the team at Sound On Studios. Our executive producer is Jelani Memory. And this show was brought to you by A Kids Podcast About. Listen to other podcasts made for kids just like you by visiting akidsco.com. While you're there, be sure to check out Ben's book, A Kid's Book About Adventure. See you back at Camp Adventure next year.
Hi, this is Matthew, and I'm head of podcasts at a kids company About. We hope you enjoyed this show, and we'd love for you to check out our growing library of shows at a kids podcast About. Whether you're looking for storytelling with crafts and activities, fact-finding with experts and enthusiasts, or looking to explore and understand your world better, we have got a podcast for you. Check out the A Kids Podcast About channel on Apple Podcasts or wherever podcasts are found, or visit akidsco.com.